Okay, all right. I'm gonna break a couple of things down. This is a real big topic. A lot of women and men. Um, you hear so many different things. What women go through, what men go through, etc. So on. This video is specifically for me. So it's like, okay, what is your philosophies? How do you look at men and women? A lot of the questions. I had a lot of women who, I've talked to, and, I just kind of start disappearing. And, a lot of them be like, well, why is he doing this? And, it doesn't have anything to do with the physical or the sex. It really don't have anything to do with, more so the attraction. While some of that stuff plays a huge role if the individual is lacking a lot of things, which is what I'm about to get into. It's really just based upon what I will be trying to work with. It's very hard. So you're dealing with what you call a lot of lack of people skills, because people have people skills in the workforce, but have trashy people skills when it comes down to their relationship. They poor parenting from their mother and father. I had it, meaning yes, my background is both my mom and dad was married for almost 30 years, and long story born, they got a divorce after like so many years. So that had them for my whole up until my adulthood. So it's like, what happened? So I'm gonna break a couple of things down. First of all, most women that I date don't really understand, or most women that I've talked to, most men that I've talked to, as far as just like we're talking about a relationship with a girl, they past situation, whatever you want to call it, they're lacking a few things. So, me personally, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a life partner. Okay. That's obviously, so, seems pretty basic, pretty generic or whatever, but a life partner to me is someone you spend your life with, that builds their life by mastering how to solve problems together. So in so many words, like, I'm spending my life with this woman, and me and her, based off of what she's equipped with as a woman, and based off of me, what I'm equipped with as a man, we're able to solve problems together. That's it. I'm not looking for somebody to be a bad chick. She looks nice, that's good. That stuff just kind of really doesn't exist. Being realistic. And if it does, I ain't gonna probably find them. Most men aren't. I'm not looking for somebody that's like got a whole lot of money and all this stuff. They got money, that's good. All the other stuff is a plus. I'm looking for somebody who know how to solve problems. And what that means is, if you want to have a peaceful life, what you're going to find out is, and all divorced men and divorced women can attest to this, or ones who are getting divorced, or ones who have gotten a divorce or whatever, they're going to say, well, this person didn't do this, they didn't do this, they didn't do this, and they didn't do that. And then, I could have did this better or whatever. But really what the bottom line was, you guys ain't know how to solve no problems. Because the number one thing, and I want to clarify this, please take note on this, is that when you dealing, and this is why I fall back from women, personally, you do not want to mistake value or mistake similarities for value. So you know, me and you like the same ice cream. Like me and my baby mom, like me and my daughter's mother. Man, she was cool as the other side of the pillow. You know what I'm saying? This is what we had in common. It was that simple. Sex, be there for each other, physically around each other, you know, for cuddling and emotional support, which both are dysfunctional when it comes to emotionally, because we both have identity crisis. That's a whole nother thing. She played the video game with me. I thought that was fly. She thought I was cool because, hey, this guy is talented. You know, he writes, sings, all this other stuff, and he is trying to do something with it. Like, I'm watching him. He's doing something every day with it. He practices on his that's cool, but I'm still have a broke mentality, right? We get together, we have a baby, it doesn't work. Don't know how to solve problems. Now, if I knew what I knew, if I knew then what I knew now, obviously stuff would be different. We might not even been together, and or my approach would be extremely different. But we probably wouldn't have been together. No disrespect to her, because she's a cool person. Everybody got their flaws, but I'm just saying, because there's a couple of things that I'm getting ready to address. Okay, so the woman that exists in most men's head, let's start getting to it, do not exist. Okay, so this notion that you gotta be this and this up front, 9 times out of 10 ain't gonna be that. All right. Most men walking around with these expectations because you just like, oh, it's so many women around. It's 20 to 1. Yeah, but the quality's low. Trust me, it doesn't take much to stand out. It really doesn't. Especially if you're who you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's the job's man, it's the man's job to, like, it's my job to try to take what you have or that you are as a woman and cultivate it to the woman that is in my head. That's really what the business is. Like, you know, that's just, it is what it is. Now, on the flip side of that, some women may agree that this stuff is not for the liberal woman or the woman that's like, you know, I'm the independent woman stuff. Like, if you had that mentality, like, you know, I don't really need no man, or I'm independent and I'm this, like, you know, and I'm good and I'm an alpha female, or I'm running things, this ain't really for you, because you gonna be lonely. And if you not, you always gonna attract weak men, because those are the only men. You might attract some alpha men because they like the chase and they like the excitement, but they can't build anything with you. Anybody with common sense is gonna see that. They just like the whole, yeah, that stuff is not good. But we're talking about a woman that's like, okay, I want a man. We gotta first understand what's up with a man, who is a man, what type of man you really should be dealing with. In this case, what type of man I am. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna take a woman and cultivate them, the flip side is you can't be coming super broken up, damaged goods, or you bad material. I'm supposed to build you up, but I'm dealing with real bad material in the first place. It's not gonna work. Which means you gotta be teachable. Which is why a lot of women gravitate to me, because they like, oh, I can learn, and you know, or what have you. You know, so That's important because if you broken and jacked up, that means you're not even single wise, you're not even official. So all this stuff, if you believe like, one man and woman makes a whole, that's fuck that. That's not true. You could look that up, Google it. It's not true. It's what it is, you need to be whole yourself. And I'll give you an example. What if, okay, if you consider this being whole, so say you got a car job, in your own place, and you're not on drugs, and you have less than 3 kids. Let's say that's like, okay, boom, right? Okay. Besides knowing anything about the dating market, like dating value in the marketplace or sexual value in the marketplace, even if you don't know none of that, okay, you say, yeah, I'm good, but the dude is all jacked up, no job. If he got a job, he can't really afford no type of bills. He never really had a good job. Maybe have a record. Maybe he do. Maybe he don't. Maybe he's got a good job, but he can't keep his penis in his pants. You know what I'm saying? And his mentality on women is like, women are just like playthings, and he don't take life serious, or he's not a guy with any goals. If any of those sound familiar, or you felt that, wrong answer. Those are what you call bad material. Like, yeah, he's a man, he do a couple of things right, but no vision, nothing. Everything that represents a man is jacked up. So this is what I mean. One reason why I don't necessarily too much deal with women that are too broken, and you could just tell because they living in the past. Their mentality, they're open to some things, but they really not. They saying it, but they really not. Some women, they just don't have an identity or not really. I'm not even gonna say identity because that is an issue, but more so their perspective on relationship. When you dealing with me, I'm telling you now, I ain't really I don't build my relationship off love. I don't do that. I'm looking for a life partner. That wife stuff, I married my wife because I love her. I seen it didn't work. It don't work. And you got to bring more to the table if you're going to just be like that. First of all, I shouldn't be building my relationship off of love. I can grow to love you. A man should love his woman or his wife, but he don't need to be falling in love and how you gonna if you look that up, that's not even real. I don't believe in unconditional love. I'll tell you right now, we cool, but if I punch you in the face, you're gonna be like, nah, that's the wrong answer. Dude, you just jacked up. And if I punch you in the face and you still stick around, you crazy. See that? We all know, if you do any research, we all know that most of the issues between people or man and woman usually got to stem from 2 things: the need for acceptance, or in the need to be in control. And you see it all the time. A woman that's super fly or official, she feels like she needs some sort of acceptance. And that comes however she feel like that's supposed to be. Or in a woman that just gotta be in control of everything. If you're not moving how she think you should move, or whatever the case is, men do it too. I need her to accept me, or I need him to accept me like it's my homeboy or my affiliate person. Nah. So I'm starting off by saying all of that up until now, we're talking about life partner, okay? what it means to be a life partner, and me understanding my role as, when you dealing with me, I'm a leader and a builder. So I am in the mind of building a woman. You know, some women are like, nah, I'm not gonna build a dude or whatever. It kind of really, you can, but really kind of like your job to be doing that. But at the same time, you need to be like kind of on your P's and Q's, or decent enough to be built up. And you know that. So now we got to go into what I call the wife and the concubine. There's a huge difference in a wife and a concubine. So when I start saying some of this, you'll be like, uh-oh, he's touching on some nerves here. But I want to touch on this because we got to touch on this before we can get to the meat of this. The meat of this is, what should you be as a woman? Now, this stuff ain't just like for me. You could take this if you dating somebody and you just like relationship in general. And this stuff, you can be like you could be looking this stuff up, whatever. This is just facts right here. And this is where I'm at 2019. And you're going to see when I show you this money. I'm going to show you in a second. So, the wife and concubine. Now, a wife, okay, obviously is considered, obviously you married. This is in relation to your spouse. So you're kind of like, or to your man. You're married to your man, okay? That's a wife, okay? We're going to break down, it's almost like saying you want a guy to marry you. Some women do this. It's too risky. But he can become a husband, get with him, and then pray on the Lord. Some people, they get their prayers answered, and some niggas don't. So you got to be real careful with that. A concubine is basically somebody that's with a man, but you got a little bit lower standards than a wife does, okay? So, sexual, like you with that guy, but you don't quite have the same status as a wife. Okay. The question is, how do you not become a concubine? Because some people actually got married that I know. Like, I got a dude right now, like he married. I'm like, why'd you marry her? One, she's not wifey material, but not forget the wife material. Like, you wifed her, but you treating her like a concubine. You're not building her up or nothing. It'd be different if it was. So, there's a big difference. Before we get to what is a wife. So, you want a husband, you gotta know how to be a wife. Now, one, how would I know if I got a dick and two balls? Well, my mother, I'm not gonna say, man, your mom might not even be that sweet. Okay, but I'm just gonna tell you, my mom was married to my dad for so many years. Okay, and anybody who knows KJ the producer, he does not go out. Anybody who knows me for over 5 years know, like, KJ hasn't been out. I haven't been an outgoing person like that for like probably 15 years. So that could be like, okay, that's probably why that nigga single. That's one. Or why he got issues like going out. I just don't go out that much. Okay, I will go out, but I haven't. My point is, she did for over 20, since I was born. She's a at-home chick. She works, but she don't do nothing but church and home. That's all she do, right? Okay, what's my point? Okay, so I watch her put up with a lot of stuff. It don't take a rocket science to figure out if something's right or if something's wrong, right? My point is, for me bringing up her in correlation to, what is a wife, I also saw some things that was not wife-like. So my experience is, you can bet on that. But then the second thing is, I'm a guy that researches. So I went to go find out. Plus I had my own like experiences with women, but I went to go dig deep. Like, what is a wife? What is a woman? And how can you distinguish a woman that you should just have sex with rather than someone you should marry? Okay. And then I like, just like most women's like, how do you know if a guy's for real or not? Or how do you know if he's a good guy? Or how do you know you're getting played? Or how do you deal with certain situations? Same thing how somebody will ask that. That's what I did. First of all, let's break down marriage license. Again, gotta know this by heart. Marriage license, like that license, is the only license where you can go to Las Vegas, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, wherever, and just go downtown and get a marriage license. You pay the money, you're married. No counseling, no self-development, no nothing. Okay? You could just do it. So that tells us how important that license is to society. It's not really all that important. It's only important when it's time for the legal aspect of things to get involved. That's it. Okay, those two are married. All right, so the paper, the license don't dictate nothing. So we got that part. Now, the question though is, what would be, and somebody gonna say, my pastor, sends you to this, little class where you guys get together and, you go through some courses and then you get married, or some people go to marriage counseling or whatever, different things. Basically though, to me, in order to qualify to get marriage license or to get married, you gotta have some problem solving skills. Again, I'm gonna say it again. A life partner is someone you spend your life with, that you could build your life around them. And it's two people that solve problems together, because that's one thing that's gonna be consistent in everybody's life is change. And you got to know how to adapt. And if you got the right tools, you fine. This is 2019. Microwavable stuff, sexual, visually, sexually, and everything else is just at an all-time high right now. So that's that. Now, you got to have people problem-solving skills, because 20, 30 years later, you'll end up like my parents or some parents I know, people I know, 20 years and get a divorce. You couldn't work it out. You couldn't work it out because it was really jacked up before that. You just probably didn't see it. So we must keep in mind that a family is a company, right? So that's how we rolling. That's my philosophy, all right? So with that being said, okay, everybody has roles. Everybody has a role. It's not coincidental. A man act the way he act, a woman act the way she acts. Nowadays they programming this like, sexes and all this stuff, like, we are two different people. And you seeing that as you're dating and all of that. It's a bunch of crazy stuff. The independent thing. Dude can't get a job. Like a lot of women, like, I don't know nobody that don't. I know a lot of men ain't got no car. I know men that got a car but don't have they don't have a house, or they just don't have their life together. Well, they can't get no job. They ain't really supposed to be having no job though. So we'll talk about all of that. Like, huh? They ain't supposed to have no job. They supposed to be, if they knew their purpose, they can't get fired. We'll talk about all that though. That's just real talk. And then the ones that have a job and keep a job, that's it. And then they get bored and all this stuff. You wouldn't be getting bored if you was building with a woman. Let's just go to the thing. So now, this is my definition. This is what I'm looking for in a woman. Okay? This is what I'm looking for in a woman. So, I'm looking for, I believe the role of a woman is this. And you need to take notes. You just need to take notes. Women should know this. Because I think the top 2 problems that men have in dating is that when they're dating women, the woman doesn't really know what it is to be a woman. And they don't know themselves, whoever their name is. So, my mom's name is Marsha. She may not know who Marsha is, as well as I don't know what it is to be a woman. I'm using that as an example. That's what a lot of issues come in at, because you're dealing with an identity crisis. First of all, a woman should be very discreet. Okay. A woman definitely should make sure the house is good. Okay. This is my philosophy after dealing with a lot of women. Like, when I say a lot of women, I'm not just talking about sexually. I'm talking about, I was the guy you say, hey, I want to be in a relationship with you. I'm really feeling you. And I'm like, sound like you want to be in a relationship. Well, yeah, that's the goal. Okay, let's be in one now. But next week you fire. That was immature. That's how I used to roll. So I dealt with a lot of different women, talking to them. I used to go out on a lot of dates. I can listen. I ain't got no, I ain't trying to start no business or nothing to do nothing. My little piece of check, warehouse check, man, let's go. Boom. Because I'm going to get it right back in 2 weeks or a week. So you know what it is. Okay, so being discreet is very important. Keeping a house is very important. I think a woman, this is something important here. So the third thing is, I think that a woman mindset should be official. Okay? Meaning spiritually minded or mentally sound. And here's why. Most women mentally are all over the place. And when they're all over the place, when you hear all over the place, that's usually a sign of chaos. That's usually a sign of disoriented, confusion. Because when you clear and precise, you're not going to get stressed. If you look up what's stress, keep researching it, you're going to find out you're going to run across something around you don't know what you're doing. Stress comes from not knowing what to do. Okay? So that's in general, men or women. So to be a real woman to a man, if you was just mentally sound, a man, you know how much value that is to a actual man, spiritually and mentally just sound. I think that's really, really important. Not, you don't really know, you're trying it, you're doing this over here, you got so much stuff going on with yourself. That stuff gotta be, you all over the place. You're gonna have to get a real patient brother. But if you wanted to, really be valuable to your man, you gotta be mentally sound. Okay? I also think the fourth thing is that I think a woman should be chaseable. Now, when I say that, I'm not just saying, you hear that on different people say that, but my thing is like, okay, yeah, look wise, you want to kind of like, all right, cool. You want to make sure you keep yourself up, keep yourself, right. Now, when you have kids and then you single, that's hard to do. And if you do it, you gotta be careful, because you might be sacrificing something else, whatever that might be in your life. That's gonna go down. The chaseable thing could be difficult if you buy yourself 2-3 kids, or just like, you trying to be a businesswoman and all this other stuff. But when I say chaseable, I'm talking about doing stuff that don't turn people off. In my eyes, no common sense, bad communication, doing things and not being like, that's not really common, but just not being smart about it. Like, why'd you do all that the hard way? Then come back and ask me, like that stuff is like, whoa, nah, that's the wrong answer. Okay. So those type of things like that, it's hard for a man, and in my eyes, it's hard for a man for me to really like keep chasing you or start finding you attractive when you're turning off the mental. Because even though man is physical, there's things mentally that you can do to make yourself not chaseable. And you're like, well, what happened? There's one chick I dated, older than me, man, looked nice, had money, had herself together. She uses her look, and she has a sweet side to her, but she's not chaseable because she's so like, she acts like she got a penis sometimes. Like you can tell that she doesn't respect men, but she wants respect, and that's why she runs across a lot of the stuff that she ran into. Like, I was like, dang, that happened to you? Yeah, well, once you start talking, she said, oh yeah, I see why, that's all a part of being chaseable as well, right? A woman has to be a helper, I believe. I'm gonna play this video, okay, in a second. That talks about a man in divorce. I think one of the biggest misconceptions right now, and men has messed it up for a lot of the women, which is like, for me, I'm looking for a helper. Okay. Now, before I play these other videos, I'm going to play this one video in particular. It is called, and it's only going to be like a few minutes or whatever, a few seconds, or like about a minute or two. But I want you to listen what this brother says. Okay, this is consequences of choosing the wrong business partner, but goddamn it, you could might as well just say this for like marriage. Okay, this right here, please listen to this. Okay, when becoming a helper, you have a few issues. Some women come with so much stuff, and the quality of dudes that they're dating is so sorry that they can't afford to kind of like submit to their vision. All right, so you got that type of thing, and we'll talk about submissive later, like submit, because that's a huge thing that women are against. Some women are for it, some women are against it, but I'll really start breaking that down when you talk about submit. Okay, and if you're a person that's like, I don't like it just because you like to be in control, remember the two issues that you have in most relationships are that most of the issues stem from, any issue that you got is either the need to be in control or in the need for acceptance. When there's no control, no acceptance, everybody like kicking it. There's no stress and no extra stuff. But when you get all that come, then your emotion, or you gotta like feel like you gotta buck up, or as a man, if you like, you gotta be in control. All this control stuff is the wrong answer. And people are getting things misconstrued. So I believe the fifth thing is I'm looking for a helper. Helper also means getting involved. Some women don't want to put, like, this is like, I seen this, I'm going to use a chick, let's just say her name Mary. I seen a chick, right? She got a job. She's been working at the job, dude, for like 10 years. She ain't going nowhere. She's like locked in with that job. So she could work that job as long as she want to. Make good, decent money, gonna pay bills, do whatever she want to do. The thing with the job is, it's no disrespect to anybody that got a job. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the thing with a job is your future, unless you branch off and kind of do your own thing, which most women have a hard time doing it because technically you ain't. The first four things I name, I don't know if you, like, when I say, like, this is what I look for. First thing I said was discreet. Second thing I said was make sure the crib is right. The crib is right. The crib is comfortable. The crib is clean, or, you know what I'm saying? Stuff around the crib is right. Oh, something broke. All right, here's the money. Go fix it. I'm going to call James. Yo, James, can you come fix the joint? All right, bet. Cool. Mentally, you got to be right. Okay? Mentally solid. Okay? Or spiritually minded. You have to be sound. Make sure you chaseable. That's the fourth thing I said. I ain't say nothing about like she gotta have money. Cause this is what I really truly believe. I done dated some women with some money. The ones I dated with money, they like their job, but they're all like ego people, right? When I say ego, like, you know, a lot of it is me. They single. A lot of the stuff is like me. What I want, what I want, what I want. And they only help unless there's a lot of stipulation because they've gotten scarred a lot because they don't know how to pick a good man. And they're suffering from some identity crisis as well. Like, they got money and trying to figure themselves out. It's like a rapper, you give him $1 million and he just blow it on jewelry. Like, you know, crazy stuff like that. So a helper must be involved. Most never ever, when women say this, they kind of be fired. Because I need to know, like, what type of woman am I dealing with? And it makes me look at their life. And then when I look at their life, I see, okay. Which is, please, if you want to be a part of my life and you saying you feeling me, I'm not crazy. If you go, if I say, what's up? What you doing? Well, I'm trying to figure this out. And you don't offer help, you're like, well, that don't mean she's not a helper. Yeah, it do. Because I live my business 24 hours. And you're going to find out why that's important to a woman. If you want to be with me, that is a very important quality to have a man like that. And I'm going to tell you why. Not because that's how I am. I'm going to give you facts. When a woman say, oh, well, just hit me up when you're done, I never hit them back. They never know why. I never hit them back. I never hit them back. I never ever did that. You know why? Because it tells me you're not really willing to be involved. You're not in the vision. You are disconnected from me. And I am dick to you. So I have to treat you like sex. Like, I don't want to do that, but I'm like, okay, sex, and I'll talk to you, I'll check on you, make sure you're not dying or nothing, but that's it, and my life is going to move on. Because I can't build a life with you because you're not technically going to be involved. Now, some women are backwards. They'll say, well, I'm not going to be involved with you or be involved with your business because that's more like marriage stuff. And or two, what if I do that and still get broken up with? Well, here's the thing. What do you got to lose? I had somebody one time tell me when I first started my business, again, I'm going to use a scenario, Mary. 10 years on the job. So if I was spending time with you, you're going to be spending time with me anyway, smashing me, deep throating me, getting your stuff ate, chilling, watching movies, going out, having a good time. What's wrong with that activity? One of the activities is I help him with his business or I help him solve problems. Because guess what? If you cool with being on the job, that also tell me I'm like, you got to look at that because that means at me, if I'm growing a business and I'm thinking $250,500 to $1 million millionaire, providing jobs and housing for people, then this person that's just, their mentality is just, I'm going to stay right here because I'm comfortable, means no economic growth. So that's something to think about if you're going to date me. Like, is that what I really want? So, this guy, you look at it, it says divorce, cheating, stealing, lying, mismanagement of money, not fulfilling your roles. I want you to hear what this brother's about to say because one of the huge things is, okay, if you're dating me, I'm in the transition of startup to like a actual like super sustainable business. Right now it's not sustainable because I have to work it. So everything is active income. I don't work, I don't catch it, kill it, eat it. I don't live. It's not a go somewhere, help make somebody rich, and then that's it, and then I'm surviving and I could take my little money and try to invest it. No, it's like $150 sale, boom, call, sale, have people skills, build. Okay? So, when you see this right here, I built this. There's a lot of information. If you just look at it, hiring virtual assistants and delegating work. Right off the bat, you may or may not know how to do this the correct way. And if you do, you may not know how to do it from the standpoint of my business, how my business is set up. Or in other businesses. You may just know about it. And if you do, that's good. But when you start getting into how to sell, marketing techniques, customer service versus customer experience, legally, making sure you understand stuff, dude, that's a lot of work. How to take $20 and turn it in, and product and service development. When you learn all this, you end up with this. You just don't learn how to do that just like, oh, you gotta learn this stuff. So my point is, a helper, which a woman I think should be a helper, and she's naturally a helper in my eyes. Like, that's why a lot of women I see, they deal with some of the brothers that they deal with. They're involved in some of the things that they're involved with, because most women love helping. When they ain't got no nigga, when they ain't got no man, that help starts to turn into other stuff. So like, okay, I'm going to start feeding the homeless, so I'm going to start doing this. Some people doing that and they got, a man, but It depends on what kind of man you got. But a woman is a natural helper in general. So when you hear a woman, when I hear a woman per se say, I pointed this website out for a minute because I'm going to let you hear what this brother say. Take a listen to this.
9 schedule. What is the type of a schedule that they're going to have? Because sometimes you'll have somebody that will come with a nice resume, okay, fat resume. And the resume comes with the expectation of, I'll only work 4 days a week. I had somebody I hired. This guy was lots of talent in the industry, financial industry. But his expectation was, I take Fridays off. I don't work the weekends. I work Monday through Thursday. Do you know what the last company did to me? The last company gave me this. They gave me this. They gave me that. I'm not looking for that. And then finally, I just said, this is not a good fit. I don't think this is a fit for you. I think you got to make a decision what you want to do next. And he did. And he did. Said, this is just not going to work out for neither party because what you're doing, what I'm doing, it's just not the right partnership. So understanding what part of the business, if you're a startup, you can't have somebody saying, I'm only going to work 3 days a week. If it's a startup, I need somebody in the startup mode. So I'll ask the question. I'll say, look, I know you have a pretty fat resume. You have a nice resume. And the reason why you have a resume like that is because at some point you had startup mentality. My question to you is, do you currently have the corporate mentality or the startup mentality? What do you mean by that? Well, are you more in a phase where you feel like you've earned it and so you need all this other stuff? Or do you want to get back and get your hands dirty and build another startup to be able to potentially make an impact around the world and have a big victory? That's a great question. My wife wants me to. Okay, boom. You already know where it's going. So is it part of a non-negotiable? Are you okay with that? You need to make that decision, but it's not something to set aside. 10.
All right, let me tell you why that was real big, what he just said. Okay, that schedule. So we all know the terminology that, okay, a man that's not working don't eat. And if a man, some women are like, if a man is busy, I'm fine with that. Now, you got two different situations here. Some women are like, I'm cool if a man is busy because I like doing my own thing. I like having my own space. I have my own money. If you notice, I kept saying I, bop, 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 bop. I like bop, 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 bop. I like, you ain't hearing no we, none of that, no union. So this is one of the key components, I believe, in a woman identity crisis, because a lot of women don't know where they fit in with their man, particularly that individual. So some women come in and they do help the best way they can, but sometimes they helping and they just don't know they man because they don't either ask questions and or they're not paying attention and or what I just said, I think. My point is this. He said somebody has a big resume. So you have some women, and you think about this if this is you. Some women has been through the whole ringer with a man, even been married. If you've been married, divorced, or had an abusive situation, or went with somebody and stuff didn't work out. Now, the whole thing with that is some people, they go through that, but then they're like, I don't want to go through it again. And they're like, I don't want to go through it again, but I still want to play the game. In other words, I still want a husband or wife, but what she did to me or what he did to me is like, or, I'm not willing to build, or I'm not willing to kind of go through certain things. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about bad stuff. I'm talking about like what he just said. Like, so for example, if you're dealing with an entrepreneur like myself who's building something from scratch, and I'm not technically in the very, very beginning stage, but again, I'm still in startup mode, and you want me to love on you, be romantic, fix stuff around the house, help you out with money, build you up, lead you, help you with whatever your passion is, spend a lot of quality time, be a porno star, smash you how I want you to, how you want me to smash you, or, cause nowadays, you know, it's real big. Dick is real big. Women will fire you now if you don't give them dick. Like, I know that because it's a lot of women. Like, last year, I had to cut a lot of, like, I found out, like, hey, it could have been anybody, a client's sister's, like, homegirl. And next thing you know, you like, huh? Yeah, I want to smash. No. All right, I'm out. I'm like, what? When did that happen? And I ain't gay by or nothing by a long shot. So like, what was it? Nobody knows. You not giving up no dingling. That's it. My point is, I'm staying on track here by, that was so important because you might like the other stuff about me, like, yeah, dude is like, he's smart or whatever, he's attractive or whatever you think, but I'm in and I'm going to break it down, startup mode. So let me explain what they mean. Okay, so let me show you something here, okay? So I'm going to show you two accounts. I have quite a few accounts. I gotta show you this so that you know. Okay, this is real numbers here. It's no fake stuff. Okay, money is not why I'm showing you this. Okay, credit. Okay, available credit, whatever. Loan. This is a loan. I got like that. I got. Okay. And no, this ain't loan or this ain't no credit like I'm taking this credit and I'm paying bills. I'm not doing that. I'm like really investing this money, like making money. Like I ain't just saying that. I know what to do with the money. I understand the asset between the liability. Like all that stuff. This is all I do for like anybody who know me. Let's go with 2018. Okay, can we go back? Let's go with 17. I'm showing you something because I want you to show growth. I want you to see growth. Now, right here let's do 17. You need to see it because like this is what type of dude you're dealing with. Okay. It's going to do its thing. 36,000, not a lot of money. And this don't include cash. And I was only using one account, which is this one. I obviously have other, like a business account, but all the money goes through here. Then I, boom, I do it, put the money in my business account, and then so this right here is what I made. Now, I'm going to tell you something. So I honestly about 40,000 because I had about $7,000 or $8,000 in cash. But I want to show you this. You can't get this by winging it or by just you gotta know business. Remember, I'm in an industry, if you don't know, music production, video production. I don't sell like clothes, food, or shelter. Those are necessities. People need those. I'm selling like passion, like music. That's the type of stuff I'm selling. And I'm not doing it with no label, no help, nothing. Then you go to 2018. That's 18. Okay. That was that. That's one account. Okay, let's go to the other account here. Alright. Not a whole lot of money. Okay? Not a whole lot of money. But I want to show you the growth. Okay. 18. So 24, that's over half going into the 6-figure mark. And this year going to be even crazier. We're in the 11th day so far. So if you're looking at this video, it's the 11th day of the year 2019. Like, what this is showing you is growth. A man and woman with a child, believe it or not, can survive off of $35,000, $40,000. They could. I'm talking about both incomes together. If the whole household was $40,000, they could survive off that. $60,000, you straight, right? Here's my point. A helper and someone who's really like, okay, and the woman if she's a real helper, and I'm not saying, you keep saying like helper, this must be really important. I'm just saying, like, if I'm working doing this, and I'm a guy who reads, and I'm doing all that stuff, and like I'm taking mom, big kids, some women, if I hear a woman like, okay, those is really like your first love, or those are like, that's your mom and your daughter's your wife, and it comes before me, you can already tell where their head is at. That's the wrong answer. You shouldn't be thinking like that. Because here's the catch. $60,000, and then let's say that turns into $120 this year. If you with me, you're like, well, that ain't my money. If you're trying to build with somebody, don't you think that's like a dude want to have sex? You don't want somebody to like, well, that's just like, this is equivalent as a man saying like, well, I'm talking to you, but I don't really need to have sex with you because I'm fucking other people. So you ain't really got to like have sex with me. Like, you like, huh? Nah, I'm gonna wait till you have sex, then I'll cut them off. Nah. Like, why? Why? Unless you like, you really understand like a man and your perspective is different on things, you gonna be like, no, I ain't feeling that. As a Western woman in the Western continents, you are not gonna say that, right? So helper is important. Okay, I want to play this video. We got that. I'm showing you this. This isn't no bragging. This is showing you it took real hard work. I bust my ass to get here. Like, I build. This money came from information. You understand? This ain't no like, I'm building a real business. And some women, you know, the love and the relationship and stuff, I'm like, you can get all that. But if that's all you talking about, and you really can't help me, meaning, when I say helper too, I gotta go back to helper. That's why I believe it's important for a woman to either go to school or get some skills. Because if she has a man, like this is how I would think if I was a woman, if I knew some of this stuff. I would say, like, say I found out 25, okay, I know what I'm supposed to, because that's usually around near 30. That's when you start finding out, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be, this is what's supposed to happen. I would say, I need to get some skills in administration. Or you work on the jobs, I need to take some notes on this job. Why? Because when I meet the right man, and you want that, some women, they feel like they gotta work or be busy or whatever. But if you meet that man and you like, yo, I meet the right dude, and this dude he's got all the right tools, I can work with this guy. You got something, hey, I know something about this. Hey, I'm really good at this. Be a helper. Because what happens is you starting to display your value as a woman. And that's when you start becoming like from concubine. Because concubine is like, hey, you want to chill, we hang out, we have some sex. But no real thought is like involved in none of this stuff. It's like, you know, emotionally you're catered to, but you end up getting replaced by somebody that knows the game and what's going on. You know, this is in general. And some of it is like, well, he didn't have no vision or anything. That's because you shouldn't have been dealing with him, though. But I want you to hear this. All right? This is so deep. He's going through some Bible jargon. If you're not into the Bible, just don't listen to the Bible jargon. Just hear, try to get into the context and what he's saying. This is so important if you want to have a good man. And my whole thing, I always say that the top 2 questions you should ask a man when you getting, everybody know this. Everybody who talk to me say, well, what should I ask a man? I say, what is your why? Or what they call, what is your purpose in life? And then the second question should be easy. What are me and you going to be doing? Because, and what that means is not like, what are we doing in a relationship? That specifically means, what am I going to be spending the rest of my life doing with you? Because I might not want to be doing that. Like, I might not want to be doing that. Like, you a mechanic. I don't give a fuck about cars. I'm sorry. You sports. I don't like sports. You do like, oh, you own a clothing store, or you're an entrepreneur. I don't want to have like 4 or 5 businesses. I don't want to, that's too risky for me. I don't want to take money invested into the company, look at the account, there's only $100. Yeah, the bills are paid, but I can't do nothing. I can't get my hands and feet done. But like, you got to start thinking about that. Because now you're getting into what you call just more so self rather than a unit. When you hear people talking like that, depending on the context, you could tell like they don't look at family as a business. So I'm giving you this stuff. Take notes. Take notes on it. Because you might go talk to some nigga and all he doing is like, he's intelligent, good looking, he's cool. He like whatever you into. He don't smoke or drink, or he's cool, good pipe. But your life just kind of like, what happened? And you stuck. So yeah, we're going to listen to this. This is deep right here.
And your body is dirt. Never confuse your body with yourself. Absent from the body, present with the Lord. You see, your body is just a house. It's a casing.
Forget the
first casing God made
whole,
was the male.
Listen to this.
And read what the Bible says. It says
the
he
Bible
formed the man
jargon,
from the dust of the ground, breathed into him the breath of life, and man became what? A living soul, a living being. Verse 8 says, now the Lord God planted a garden east in Eden, and there he put the man he had made. This is very important. God didn't allow the male to find the garden. First, God made the garden, planted the garden, and then he put the man there. Which means that God intended for the man to live in this place. Eden is very important to a male. I'm going to explain Eden to you tonight. In these verses, I find God's purpose for the male. Look at Genesis 2, verse 15. It says, and then the Lord God took the man, that's the male, and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from every tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat of this, you will surely die, and everything with you. This statement has everything in it a male needs. I have come tonight to show you that God has a very clear purpose for the male. And he didn't hide it. It's right here. Everything in this statement is about the male. He's talking to the male. Only the male is around. The woman is not created yet. The male is receiving all the information. So let's take a look at this verse, very important, and you want to write this down. First, God says he put the man in Eden. The word Eden is a Hebrew word which means presence. Eden was not a place. That's why they can't find it anymore. Eden was an atmosphere, an environment. No one has ever found Eden because Eden was an environment. It was an atmosphere. And that's what God created for the man to live in.
So let me break that down real brief, real quick, which obviously he broke it down, but let me break it down in the context of, okay, I'm dating KJ, all right? So one thing, notice he said Eden is an atmosphere, okay? And he's going to break down a little bit about atmosphere. I'm going to let him break that down, then pause it again. But right there, first of all, Eden, I don't want to give it away because I want him to break it down. But when he says that, and notice he says that the woman is not around. This is why I said, too, why the woman has to have a sound mind if she's going to be dealing with me. Because a sound mind, I know that she can be a true helper. She can be a real true helper because she is going to be able to solve problems a lot faster and sharper than someone whose mind is just confused and messed up, who doesn't have any identity or anything. So my point for stopping and breaking this down is the man, whoever you're dealing with, must have a solid mental, he has a solid mind. His mental is right, it's solid. That is how you can build with a real man, because his mind is solid. Dude, this is mind solid. Cause I stopped going to school at the 4th grade. That ain't that's for real. Well, how did you do that? You lying. If you look it up, Baltimore Public Schools in 2000 or whenever it was, 98 to 2000, maybe 7 or 6, all the schools were overpopulated. So what they started doing was we got to get rid of these kids. Dude, you could skip school legitimately. I one year in middle school, I skipped 100 and something days. They just pass you like that. Straight like that. They just pass you. I come from a save money, go to work, pay tithes and offering in the church. God's gonna work it out. Treat your woman right. By being a provider, by going to school and blah, 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 blah. So where did I get this information from? And I was taking relationship advice from 2 people who are trying to give me advice in the 2000 era, who the last time they dated was in the 70s or 80s. Huh? Remember that. That's important. There were no apps, no dating apps. I'm pretty sure somebody would have been something would have happened. No dating apps. Let me not get started. Point is, when you're dealing with a man, his mind has to be solid. If he's in Eden, which is a mentality, a mental space, it's peace. That's what he said, peace. If your man is peaceful, which I am, I'm always in peace. I have a peace of mind. Then your life is probably going to be peaceful. I can promise you that. A man that has a peaceful mind, you start being, the only way your life is like not peaceful or some stuff is jacked up is if you dealing with people that don't got a peace of mind or they dysfunctional. So I want to play this and let you hear it.
Matter of fact, when I did my research on the Hebrew, it blew my mind. The Hebrew word for Eden has 5 strokes, and it means spot, moment, presence, open door, delightful. When you put it all together, it means the spot on the earth where the presence of God was an open door to heaven, a delightful place. That's why Adam never had to pray, never had to sing, never had to fast, no altars, no priest, no apostle, no nothing. Why? He had a direct open door, direct to heaven. He was walking in this wonderful presence. That's where the male was created to be. I feel like preaching almost.
Okay, you're going to do the biblical stuff here, you know, the preaching.
This is very important. Now remember, God did not allow the man to find the garden. It says God grabbed him and put him there. Why? You were created by God to live in Eden. You know, every time God creates anything, he always makes the environment first. Let me prove that.
Listen to this.
When God was creating fish, he made the water first. When God was creating plants, he made the earth first. When God was creating stars, he made the firmament first.
Okay. So, the other thing he said was, when God creates something, he makes the environment first. Right? So a lot of times, like, for example, some women already have their home that I've dated. They already have their house and everything. It's already straight. You know? Sometimes some women have financial issues. Sometimes they never do have financial issues, etc. So on. If you heard what he just said, 1 to 2 things. Number 1, if you already have your place, then whatever type of man you want, you need to your house need to reflect that. Okay? That's important. Like, a lot of people don't know that. Your house should be a peaceful place according to what type of man you want. Like me, I'm a very simple man. Simple. I always smell good. I'm always like, chill, friendly environment, clean, and it's set up for if it needs I love my environment that is, if I need to work, everything's set up, I can work. Whatever needs to be, boom, I can work. Smell good, boom, boom. Find out what type of man you want or what type of environment you need to build so that your man feel, because once your man get in there and it feel like home, he gonna know it. That means if you got a bad kid, a kid that don't listen, or your kids is off, you know that probably you gonna have some problems. Unless that dude is a different type of dude. He got a lot of patience. Well, if he don't want me for the kids, the way my kids is, then boom, and it's like, okay. You might want to say, okay, I got some problem with the kids. I need help. Like, I need help with them. Because the whole thing is it takes 2 to raise them. So if it's just one raising them, don't be afraid because it's a big thing. I don't want nobody to help me. I got a daughter. She's living with me. I'm like, yo, it's okay. No, you might not be. You know, some people funny. You're not her mom. You're not dad. I ain't like that. Hey, what? See, title don't mean much. It's the action. So I can say that I'm your dude, but based off my mentality, hey, look, I'm gonna be on some, if my mentality's off, you don't get treated like, you get treated like a concubine. You don't get treated like a wife. And vice versa. Dude puts himself in a position, you like, I can't treat him like that. I gotta treat him like this. Based off of my action or his action. So, You know, hey, that's my sister. Y'all don't even look alike. No, that's not my real sister. It's not my blood sister. But we are sisters by relation through action and through our value system and experiences with each other and what we have created and built together. I just felt like that was a very important piece, because all of that being said, a peace of mind, and he called it Eden. So when I say Eden, I'm like solid, sound mind. The number one thing that you can be to a man, in my case for me, what I'm looking for is that a woman most definitely has to be my peace of mind. Because when you doing all this, or I'm building everything for you, this is enough. A woman doesn't have to work. So I'm already there. She don't gotta really work. I'm not in the phase where I can stop working and I'm over 6 figures, where I can pay 4 or 5 people bills. I'm not there yet. But what I can do is I got enough to build something that you can profit and benefit from. And you can be comfortable. What's my point for saying that? I'm just saying that, you know, you have to, and all of this other stuff, like, obviously, you know, I know that nowadays a woman has to have her own thing going on because the men are so bad in that case, and the women are so bad at choosing men because the fathers is not really around, or the ones that are around, they're just telling them don't do this, don't do that, but they not giving them nothing about like how to really like not do something. This is, you don't choose this type of guy because it is. Especially if they saying they dad do some jacked up stuff or what have you. You know, or depending on the guy, that particular man. So this is like, this is some deep stuff here.
The devil knows if
okay. So this is also deep. So I want to break this last thing down. I want to break a couple of things down. I think that was important. Right there. So now that we got an understanding as far as the man, like me, if you need me to be the best man for you, then you must understand that little section right there, because you know what I'm saying, you got to understand the place for us must be secure as well, meaning, you know what I'm saying, you know, where we live as well as mindset, all that environment is really in your head. So if a man is corrupted, that's what you gonna get. You get what I'm saying? So reason why that's important is because as a woman, you are a real true incubator. An incubator is something that gives life, and it's a multiplier. So, you know, it is what it is. Like a dude give you a couple some women like that. Dude show a little bit of interest, woman gives back, blah 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 blah. You give her this, give her this, give her some dick, boom boom, or a baby, you know, give her this, she does this, give her a little bit of affection, give her a lot of time, she ends up doing this, she ends up loving you forever. Why? Because of the time and investment you put in. Okay, now being an incubator, meaning giving life. Now I want to break this down. Giving life, again, is also being involved, right? And letting your light shine and being a good woman, which is being life. You know, you can, like, some men be down, and that's why, and some women love that. Like, my man need me, boom, you know. Well, for someone you might think is either above or same level, whatever, just a man in general, if you are the type of woman who talks more, then listen, you're doing yourself a disservice, because when you're talking a lot and you don't ask a lot of questions, because when you're talking, a lot of times you're really talking and it's a lot of me going on. When it's a lot of me going on, some men can sense that. And some men who are grimy is going to play on that and be like, okay, this is really just about her. There's no point in I'm going to get what I need to get from her and I'm gone, right? So you got that going on. But then also too, incubator is when you're given life and you receive a lot of information and you give back, you gotta be careful, because women, which motherfuckers be lying, be talking to a lot of dudes. They be talking to a lot of dudes. I don't talk to a lot. Most of them do. When you're talking to a lot of dudes or just talking to dudes in general, you gotta be careful, because sometimes men can confuse you because you're not on the level that you need to be. I had a Scorpio chick I was talking to, and actually a couple Scorpio chicks, but this one particular Scorpio chick, when I say a couple Scorpio chicks, I mean dang, this other one did that too. This was a while ago. Okay, so this chick was talking to me, and I was working a lot. She called, she liked my conversation. I'm putting in a little bit more effort than the other guys, because the other guys is talking to her, but they can't stimulate her mind. She liked me because deep down inside, some women like the teacher. I like a man that can teach, that's a leader. I see it. I feel it. So this is what they're feeling. So she was feeling that way. The conversation started to die down over time, as usual. Not really involved. And when she's involved, or if she's asking to be involved, she's being involved because she wants to be something she don't know how to be. She's always been a, kind of what I want. She's a giver, but not, when you're talking about being a part of somebody's life, a man's life, and you're talking about their business or something like that, a lot of women, that's hard for a lot of women, because some of that is work involved. Like studying. When you're not a studier, researcher, none of that, you're not an entrepreneur. Like, not no real one. If you just you only gonna go but so far. You have to research, you have to take notes, and you have to be a type of person who pays very close attention to details. And in this case, she wasn't really like that. Most women kind of aren't really like that, because it's work. Y'all do what y'all need to do, and then I'm out, right? Here's the thing. She was talking to a guy and was like, long story boring, she was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I talked to this guy and he took me out on a date and he wined and dined me, basically. I said, oh, okay, cool. I said, that's what's up. So, what does that tell you about me? Because I get straight from the hip. I'm like, because I'm ready to smash you anyway. Like, dude, you don't know. You can't beat me with that. Meaning, I know where you're going. Oh, wait a minute. Or you don't give me gifts. Or you don't do this. You don't do that. Who you talking to? Well, you just never do it. Okay, be careful, because the man that's giving you gifts may be what they call temporary, which is that's now, but not later. Now, granted, women need to be emotionally stimulated. But if you decide, which is your choice, if you decide to deal with a man that's building something, And it ain't like, well, I'm just, owning a job. I'm just working a little something. I got my little hustle. But somebody that's talking about 100 and 200 people working for him, that's his vision. You know how hard it is to provide jobs and housing for people? That's feeding a lot of people. That's being very generous, because somebody had to create it. The job you working on, somebody created that for you to have an opportunity to maintain and make a living. So if somebody talking about doing that, you got to be really careful if that's what you want. That's like a cross you got to figure out if you want to do. So she said, yeah, it just let me know how I'm supposed to be treated. So I said, why don't you go fuck him and find out, like, if you already ain't fucking, go ahead fuck him and find out if that's who you need to be dealing with. And they're like, well, I was thinking that by me saying that, I'm telling you how you need to be treating me. And I'm thinking, I'm treating you how I'm supposed to treat you. I'm treating you like a concubine. Well, it's like, whoa. Well, yeah, I'm treating you like that because you don't display yourself as a wife. You can't, if a man don't come to you, now this is true. If a man, so if you was to talk to me and I'm like, yo, okay, if I'm coming to you, and women know it, especially me, you're gonna be like, oh, he rocking, I'm the chick, he rocking with me. Okay, if I sit up here and be like, yeah, it's just me and you, baby, we good. Like, what you want? I'm spending time, whatever you want, boom. All right, but I do gotta get back to this paper, boom. And I see that I gave you quality, precious time, which I'm gonna get into that. Quality, precious time. I invested a lot of time, and I basically tell you what I'm looking for. And then as I'm building a life without you, because that's basically what I'm doing, and you not really consistent or involved, then you how come you ain't giving me all the attention? And remember, all of the issues that I go through, you can't, first of all, as a man shouldn't be asking you for no money. He can't, listen, it's a difference. I put a lot of time and energy and effort into you, money-wise or whatever, and then you put a bunch of money in me. I mean, because I asked, then yeah, you could put your bunch of money in me. But I put a bunch of time into you, and we together, okay, cool, you helped me out. But just off the gate, nah. Unless I put a lot of time in you, you know that. You don't be giving no nigga no money. You can if you just bless his heart, bless your heart. But if something goes on with me, somebody needs management, or something's going wrong, or my bookkeeper says XYZ, or my assistant, I gotta do that, or 4 customers is having a complaint. That's all on me. You just go to work, do your job, get checked. Time for money. I'm doing it, but I'm doing that plus building. So you gotta look at the odds, you see what I'm saying with that? And that's valuable to you. Cause see, some women I got my own stuff, so I don't need you. That's crazy. Who would want to deal with a dude that's building something that you could be a part of, and eventually you can be what a real woman's supposed to be, like I said in the beginning? Chill, discreet, hold the home down, spiritually minded, sound, solid. If you're going to be a housewife, be a smart housewife. All right, babe, I'm out here going XYZ, and guess what? Go ahead and read this over here. Okay, cool, got it. You ain't doing nothing but, I learned how to sell because I read 3 books. My ex-husband had me do it, or my husband had me do it. or the person I've been with for 5 years had me doing it. So I know everything about it. Like I really studied it. So I'm saying that to say that being a helper, keeping that, none of that stuff ain't talking about like help is help. It don't mean work. But you gotta understand if a guy's working a lot of hours and you're not involved, you know what that means. But if you at least like, okay, how many hours you work? But well, I work this. Some women like, I'm working all the way to the end with you. If you ain't that type of person, that's fine. Listen, if you working 40 hours a week, Chief, I can work 20. Well, your thing is, well, what if I got a job? You just do what you can, but be involved though. Being involved is much more important than not being involved. It's like a man that calls you more times than the other guy. Some men do that. They like, I'm going to call you, I'm going to be consistent. So you're going to have to fool with me. And it works a lot of times. You end up dealing with him like, well, I don't understand why I got jacked to sorry men. Well, dude, you picked that consistent dude that wasn't sweet. And sometimes with women is a real big false thing where women like, well, chasing, I'm not going to chase no nigga. No, you don't really chase no dude. But you can't be in total denial that if you see something that's valuable, you probably need to really rock with that. Because what's going to end up happening is time going to pass you by. Because remember, if you saying let the man choose you, you might not be sweet and be in the beginning anyway. You probably your material, you just broken goods. You might be actually jacked up. Then you letting a dude that you think is gonna deal with your jacked upness. You think that's gonna work, and then it don't work, and you like, dang man, I'm jacking up or I jacked up. You gotta be real careful with that. Last thing I'm going to talk about, I hope there's some real good information here on me and on just what it is to be a woman, because I studied this stuff, because this is important, because this is how I think. And this year is going to be a big year for me. A lot of people, I'm changing my number after like, there's a number that's about to hit by like springtime. When it hit, I gotta change my number, because everything gonna be different, and everything after that, everybody's time wasters if they haven't even learned none of this stuff. That means they not studying on they're not who they need to be with the right man anyway. So then everybody walking around crying. They just incubators. People, you can treat them, or they just somebody who you have fun with, but they have some good things, but it's a lot of jacked up stuff. You gotta have at least the basics, is what I'm saying. Like, even with all this, you can have an attitude problem. Long as it ain't super like that. Like, okay, you got an attitude problem. No, you're not this. No, you're not that. All that stuff, But this right here is important. Divorce. Let's break this down. You might not agree with this, but I'm going to break some stuff down. I said it a little bit earlier. Let's take a listen. Stop. Okay. I agree with what he's saying, but I am going to tell you what I kind of don't disagree with. I agree with what he's saying, but I don't agree with if a man don't have a vision, that the woman should submit her vision to him. I don't believe that, because he don't got no vision. And 9 times out of 10, the woman that has her own vision anyway needs a man who don't got a vision. Because here's the catch. If you're not in sports, look up 2 teams, 2 documentaries. If you have to put in Lakers 2001, like this right here, championship, it should be a documentary. This is it right here, the documentary. Or put Chicago Bulls 96 championship. This is it, Unstoppable Bulls right here. Here's why you want to look at these 2 documentaries. If you're not into sports, okay, but you should really look, because the whole thing with that is when you're dealing with a unit, most units, if you say a family, most tribes, most units, most teams, anything dealing with like that has a leader, and then has a what you call like either a sidekick. I hate to use that word. That sounds bad, but just where it's a sidekick. So it's a leader, a second leader, then everything else. So a president, vice president, then there is a reason why there is some sort of structure like that there, because the man's supposed to be the head. Now a lot of stuff is backwards. You can't say the man's supposed to be the head, but he got to do X, Y, Z, right? And if he don't do this, I'm out. Meaning, like, we're not talking about like basic stuff that a man's supposed to be doing. You know, if he don't cater to me, and as far as like, you know, whether it's this or like what I would call materialistic stuff, any of that type of stuff, and or you know what, a man got to spend this amount of time with me, I'm gonna, or if he don't do this, he don't do that. It depends on what kind of man you're dealing with. In my case, I'm a hard-working black man. Okay? If you're gonna deal with me, or a man like me, you gotta understand that work is important. The one thing in that other video is that he says and he breaks some other stuff down in there. I should have pulled it back up, which is, first of all, most men go after the woman first. Wrong. A man should have his vision and everything ready for you. The problem that most women are running across is that you ask a man, what you doing? I do real estate. Oh, okay, cool. He's all in his real estate and there's no place for you. That's a real quick way to lose a woman. Cause like, well, I want to help you, but where do I fit in? The question is, do you want to really fit in, or do you say, yeah, but you really got your own agenda? Now, again, if a man got a vision and he's solid on it, he like got it written out, or you can see the progress, which is why I showed you this. Okay. All this is work. You click on this stuff, there is stuff in here. Like, these are work. I'm teaching people how to do stuff, you know, or whatever. Like, this is no phony stuff here. Work. What am I saying? If a man, you like, well, I don't want somebody to put their work in before me, then what that tells, you got to think about it. Which one you want? You want a man that's going to be a provider and protector, and a man that's going to give you balance? Because here's what I found out. Most women that have their vision, they usually all over the place anyway. Talking to their girlfriends, hours, wasting time. Going out, looking cute, wasting time. Like, that's just stuff that's cool and stuff. Going out, like, not having no clear, real direction. Like, okay, I want to do this. I know that. Or I want to make my dollar. You doing all that, but you don't know how you don't have no roadmap. And so, if you got a vision, if the guy is solid, in my case, I'm solid, and you don't really have a clear vision, you ain't gonna be losing nothing if you rocking with the dude. The main thing is that, dude, can you get a job? Now, it depends on your expectation. If you like, nah, I don't want that. I gotta have my own business. Okay, fine. But if you got two people together, they both doing their own thing, and you saying you want to be like this union where you breathe, or you say he can finish his sentence, emotionally bound, like connected, the bond is super crazy, and you want to be that man's lifeline. If you want to give life to that individual, you may have to do some sort of submitting. So I'm going to end it with this. Submit is a word that's frowned upon. And it's frowned upon because you probably don't know how to pick a good man. That's just plain and simple. Meaning you have to be lucky he chooses you rather than attracting him. It's a big difference. If he chooses me, I'm good, rather than really attracting him. I ain't talking about how you look or whatever. I'm talking about like you have the qualities that I talked about. Start asking some good men about this. Hey man, what do you? First of all, some men don't even know about this stuff. Like what a good woman really is. They be thinking other stuff. And you know how I know? This is what I used to think about my baby mom. I used to think she was a phenomenal, like a excellent wife. She got a little ways to go to me. But no disrespect, but it is what it is. I used to think nice body, like she was a BBW, but shape crazy. Okay. Big behind, can cook. And support her man. What support her man? She's involved, but not consistent. I'll do this. She do a little something, and then she disappeared. So what you're dealing with is someone that's inconsistent. When you're dealing with an inconsistent person, you know how that go. So that means, like the dude said, you do your job, I do mine. So, example, you just seen the money. If I said, hey, if you do this every day, you're going to be doing that with a job. If you do this every day and I do this every day, we can make an extra 10K. Like you like, all right, bet. Or, all right, let me master it. Teach me how to do it. And again, it's not that, this seems like a lot of stuff, but this is just really all we talking about: character and value. Being valuable in character, because if you don't have this, it's a big thing. I want to say it's about two things, then I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Hopefully you took some good notes. You kind of see like, yeah, this is the type of dude I want, meaning like you can hear what I'm saying and you're like, okay, if I'm dating James, this is the type of dude I like. If I'm dating KJ, this is the type of dude. And if I want to attract this type of dude, I'm seeing what type of woman I need to be, or have a good general idea, because nobody's talking about it. The first thing is that submit. Submit, the plain definition basically is like, superior, or give authority over another person. The other thing that people don't think about with submit is like, you basically subject to a process or treatment or condition. The reason how I memorized that pertaining to a job. So I'm going to submit to the job so that I can make a living. So, but let's break down the submit. Again, submit or submissive is to submit, forget the sexual stuff. It's basically to submit authority for your well-being, okay? If you nasty, we talking about sexually, submit for pleasure. That's slap me with your meat and all this stuff, and some spit on, like some women have real, like we talking about like do it, take control. They love it because it gets them off for their well. I love it. It's you have your way with me. Boom, right? Well, it's also like that in relationships. Again, I use it all the time. If I'm making money and we living together and I'm bad with bills, it would behoove me to submit my check to you if I want the lights on, because I'm bad with money. See that? Hey, the lights is out. Your dad didn't pay his portion. You see how that sound? You as a woman, if you have a lot of different emotions, trying to deal with what happened to you before in the past, XYZ, and then you start to heal from that, and now you're like, I'm ready to move forward and have a good relationship. You know what I'm saying? Here's the problem with that, meaning that a lot of women have. If you doing that and you going in like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this, and that's like your main focus, you really shouldn't have to do that because, or I'm not going to go through this no more. You really shouldn't have to do that because you should have learned from it. So you should be able to attract that type of man that you want, because you should have studied what happened. Really study it. Some women just try to block it out, like, I'm going to just go through life and just block it out. No, you can't do that. You need to really be like, because guess what? It's so, what your man don't know affects your kids and you. Look how, just because one person don't know something, it affects everything. See that? That's real big. What, I didn't know if I really wanted to get married. You know what all that that's affecting a lot of stuff. You affecting your girl's parents, or like you affecting all this other stuff, your finances and all kind of stuff, just because you don't know what you. Women are like that too. When they don't know, you affecting. Like the quick scenario. My mom, I tell her, I'd be like, sometimes she'll be like, we need to get the car fixed. I said, how much is the car, Mom, to get it fixed? She said, $1,500. I said, we got $2,500. I said, you want to get the car fixed? She said, yeah. I said, you about to jack us up. She said, huh? I'm like, why not take the $1,500? You can use Uber, which you don't go nowhere. I don't go nowhere. Use Uber. Or if you did go somewhere, sit down and read a book or something. And guess what? If you need to go somewhere, Uber. If not, okay, sit down and guess what? Let's use the 15 to create $3,000 in 2 weeks. Or create another 1,500 using some of that money rather than taking that. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, I never did. Cause you don't know or think like that because you don't know anything about investing. You might think you do, but like really to execute that, like, well, I wasn't thinking like that. You wouldn't think like that because that's not because you don't know. That's not something you are familiar with. Knowing is very important. And so submitting is not, when he says submit your vision, what you really gonna be losing. Especially, first of all, if you're over 35, it's never too late. But if you over 35, most women, I'm saying okay. If you under 35 and you doing everything by yourself and you're like, well, I could have did X, Y, Z, that's your, then you wonder why you don't got no dude. If you got, put it like this, if you got your own vision, you just need a dude that's already established, got a bunch of money, or a sugar daddy. Most women, I don't want that. Well, if you don't want that, I'm telling you the name of the game, how it works. Be resourceful so you can always make a living for yourself. But at the same time, if you got a good dude and you really care, don't lose him over something just because you don't know. That's number one. And then number two, time. I'm ending it with this. Please don't be asking for time if you really don't understand time. Time is the most valuable thing a man, an entrepreneur, has. Okay? So, as a person has. So let me tell you something. If your time consists of something like this, wake up, do a little bit of, you cook, clean, either get the kids ready. If you ain't got no kids, get clean, go, hang out with your mom and dad, see what they doing, watch your niece or your nephew, go over, shopping, go to sleep, wake up, work. What you're doing is you ain't really growing. Now, you might be watching some TV and you might read a couple of things, but you ain't going to be applying nothing. So you still not where you need to be. And if you having issues that you like, I can't figure it out, you should be reading about it to get it fixed. So most women, I'm telling you right now, most women ain't going to be sitting down reading, building stuff. I'll tell you right now, I find women like that, I'm like, whoa, that's rare. But to be sitting down researching, like, to become a master, most women don't become masters like that unless, like, they doing, like, they just a beast. They doing some type of hair or in school or something. Most women, when a woman's all over the place, if you know you all over the place, it's hard to master something if you're not sticking with one thing, if you don't do something consistently. And so my point is, from a time perspective, if you so worrying about romance and you not concerned with the other part and you trying to build your relationship off of romance, you got the wrong, you in La La Land. And I could watch this to show you, like, wait a minute, I don't think he got a point. I tell you what, how many times have you did how many relationship flings or relationship things you was like, wow, I really love this, and then it didn't end good. It didn't end good because that's not nothing really solid to build on. You can't just build a life off of that. You gotta have other things. If you really about something, and then if you get a man that's really about something, and he just talking about romance, you might want to question it. Because it's like, huh? Like that's really, that he say he about something that's solid, but he just focused straight on romance. Either he real established, or it's about to be, he lacking a whole lot of other stuff, because the focus. So a life partner, if I know that this person has the necessary skills and she has some self-development and she can focus, and she again, her home, something simple as like home. You could tell, you go to a home, you like, okay, I see what's going on with this. Well, it don't matter, situation, whatever, like, well, I roommate with 2-3 people. You know, you can tell where a person is at, and probably where they gonna be, a man or woman gonna be, by their day-to-day routine. And so when you start talking about time, the person that uses their 24 hours the wisely is the one that's going to come out on top. So if a woman is preparing herself and doing things that she needs to do to be who she needs to be for that right man, and she's just educating herself, like this was really an educational video, because a lot of stuff in here you probably didn't know, and if you did know some of it, you're not applying it, because if you're gonna attract a good dude. Like, how you getting them good dudes? That's something she know. And some people doing this stuff or know this stuff by like grace of God or by accident. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to share this with you. This is how I think. This is what I'm looking for. Or this is 2019 has to be different. 2019. When I say 2019, I'm really just saying the future. Because what I just showed you right there, and that's not really all the money. That doesn't include any cash. I didn't set up a whole lot of cash this year, but that right there, and you're like, well, it's about money. It's about being a provider. That even means the romance. Romance costs. No, it don't. We can keep doing free stuff if that's your level, if that's just where you want to stay at. I don't want to be that level. I want to go nice restaurants, fancy places. That's the level I'm trying to build on. Vacation in spots you just like wasn't even we buying time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like, oh, how come you guys can just wake up when you want to? Because we put in the work. I put in the work. My woman like, yo, I put in work with this dude. I helped this dude. I'm locked in. You know, that ain't, and then some people be like, oh, hey, look, I be telling people, if you don't put in the time, a lot of times as a man, if you don't put in the time and build something for yourself, you can't, the generation after you, and you call yourself just like hustling and doing all that stuff, it's very hard to get ahead and to build a solid foundation, even with a woman or anybody, if you don't have a why and you're not building. And that's why a lot of men are walking around confused, because of the identity crisis. They have a problem with, just basic, regular stuff in relationships, because they got a toolbox with no tools in it. And they looking for women to build them up. And then at the same time, some of the women that I've ran across, I'm like, okay, cool. But they got way too much. Way too much, as far as like, they're just broken into many, many pieces. So they gotta put a little bit of themselves together to be satisfactory, because you can't really work with them. So I thought I should make this video because I think it's important, and it'll just tell you like, okay, I need to be dealing with them still, or I really, really don't, But it's clear, it's precise on what I'm looking for and what I need, and it helps you as a woman as well.